Hi guys, I'm just going to do another quick tutorial, and all you're going to need is cernit translucent, pearl in purple, metallic hematite, cernit pearl in black, gold sculpey and the white pearl clay. So I will put everything you need underneath above the comments, okay? So let me just sort these out and I'll be back. They're all staying as they are, except for these two. I'm going to mix 50-50, the metallic and the pearl. But other than that, everything's staying as it is, so I'll be back in a second. Okay, so what I've done here is I've got the pearl in a sausage in the white, purple pearl, the hematite mixed with the black pearl, then the gold, then the translucent. Okay, so if I can find my roller, which has disappeared, there it is. Just going to roll it out and put it through in a skinner blend. So I'm going to put it through the machine on 0 at first. And I'm just going to keep rolling it through from the bottom, fold over, push it through, fold over, push it through, always that way. So, as you can see, it's like that. And then I'm going to fold it over. And then I'm going to continue doing that until the skinner blend is formed, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I'm happy with this. I'm going to cut a bit off because I want to try two things with this. So I'm going to remove that for part 2, and then with this one I just want to see what happens. It's just a little experiment, so I'm going to put one on top of the other, and again, and then I'm just going to literally chop them up. Start breaking it up. Just want to see what happens with this. I'm just curious. I love experimenting. So now what I'm going to be adding to this, just get this off to one side so it doesn't get splattered. Right, for this I'm now going to be adding some mica pearl, just so as it breaks up there's more pearl clings to the bit, stops it sticking together, and it mixes much better and much quicker. So I've got here a sparkling diamond cernit. So I'm just going to start mixing that in and then continue to chop. I'm going to be adding some blocks of clear translucent to this as well in a minute, but I just want to get this mixed up. Probably would have been better to do a bit more, because then you can capture the lovely shades between the black and the gold, because that's what I think looks lovely about this as it blends from one to the other. But let's see. So I'm just going to add a little bit more translucent now. So they're in, and then I've only got to worry about the block. So I'm just going to chop a few bits up here. It's all quite random. Sticking on my feet as usual. Okay, I'm just going to add some more of this. Mix it around a bit. And then drop a bit more. Oh, it's so pretty. Some of the colours in clay are magical, aren't they? I want to make it a little bit smaller. See how as the edges gather with the mica, they stop sticking to each other, so it gets easier as you go. Now I'm going to be using paint as well with this, and also liquid clay, because if you're using paint it's a good idea to use a liquid clay to give it a solidness, you know, when you're using lots of little pieces put together. So I don't know if it needs any more pearl, whether that's enough. It's hard to say because it's almost see-through, so I can add a little bit more. And then that'll do, and I'll give it one more mix, then I shall add the paint. Right, okay, I've just got to go and grab my paint and I'll be back. Okay, so what I've got here is I'm just using some gold pearl paint by Kaleidoscope. So it does sort of have a double shade to it, which I like. So I'm going to see if that makes a big difference. And I'm also going to be adding some liquid clay. And at this point I should have a pair of gloves, shouldn't I, to make life so much easier. But I don't think that's happening. I'll see how that mixes, and then I'll probably add a little bit more liquid clay. I'll be a good girl and put gloves on. 2 seconds. It will make life easier, won't it? I kind of quite like getting messy, but it's a pain when you're recording because you know your fingers get everywhere and they're full of everything. So I'm just going to start mixing this in. I'll probably have to add a little bit more liquid clay. I just want to get it moving a bit. Off my fingers. So I'm just adding some more liquid clay. Now I've mixed it around a bit. And then when I do put this together in a minute, I'm actually going to go and put it in the fridge for 20 minutes because I think it pays to do that for cutting and letting it settle with the cernit. It makes life easier when you go to work with it. So let's get this all bunched up. I'm just going to do it like this because I'm not so much fussy on the outcome of this. It's more of an experiment. I just want to see how these colours look together. You know, that I don't know if you do it. I lie in bed at night designing things in my head and I fall asleep doing it. And it came to me about the pearl black next to the purple and the gold and how they'll blend with each other, which is really pretty. And I thought, well, I wonder if you can do that in a faux stone. I've never seen it, and I like to do fantasy stuff. So I thought, well, I'll have a go and see. So that there is going to be settling for a while. It's quite it's held together really easily, which is a sign I could have used rather a lot of paint. So I'm hoping it settles nicely. Okay, so while that's settling, I'm going to leave that now and clean it up. Give me 2 secs and I shall be back with the other bit. Okay, so here's the other half of the original piece we made. So I've just laid it on a number 3 translucent, so I want some translucent underneath but not too thick, similar to what I did in a recent tutorial. And I'm just going to be using the hairdryer and water to try and see if it will crackle as beautifully as it crackled with the pearl. Now I know I've got the purple pearl in here, but I don't know how these other colours are going to react, and I'm really curious to see because obviously different clays act differently. It's the first time I've ever got that sort of a crackle with a heat gun, so it's something in the pearl. So let's see if it does it with metallics. Right, I'm going to wet this down, and I haven't got a heat gun, so I'm just going to use a hairdryer and I'm going to go over it for about a minute, so I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I run the hairdryer over it for about a minute. I rolled it out onto a 0 before I did that. As you can see, it's already starting to crackle. I might not run it through the machine, I might see how it crackles manually. It might need the machine or it might not. Yeah, I'm going to put it through the machine. It's still warm, mine, so I really should wait for it to cool. I put it on a bit of paper just to leach the back a little bit while I'm doing the front. Let's see how it goes. Well, it is crackling, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose I could just do it like this. I just want that crackle. There's about, if you go on to, I don't know if you've probably seen it, but if you haven't, Jessima tutorial, she does 30 days on the trot of different forms of crackle you can do. I haven't done them all, but I imagine they'd be quite interesting. So that there are so many ways to do it. There we go, I think that's about it. Okay, let me just sort this out and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm literally going to be slicing pieces out and then replacing them just to mix the colours up a bit. So I'm just going to literally see what happens. You can see that, can't you? It's not off screen. So I just want to mix all the different shades together, as you do. But look at that golden, but I just love it. Absolutely love it. So you haven't just got the sort of purple, black and gold, you've got all the shades in between as well, which looks quite effective. I'm hoping it will be nice. I'm pleased that the metallic is crackled in the same way. I find all this really sort of exciting, experimenting and trying to work things out. And I'm still trying to learn a lot about translucent. I've only been claying just over 2 years, but it's just fascinating to actually try to learn to understand how it works, which I'm very much a novice at. Okay, so you can see enough of that off on screen, can't you? Let me just throw some more in the mix. Oh, I'm loving those colours. Really does look effective. I hope it looks nice when I do the stone effect. We'll just see. It's all an experiment, isn't it? Just seeing what happens. And hopefully it might give you some ideas to go away and try. I remember when I first got my clay, I sat and looked at it for weeks. I couldn't even touch it. I was terrified. I was terrified to pick it up, and I've read so many people say this since. When they start, they feel intimidated, and you know, and that's part of the reason I enjoy doing the tutorials, because you've got to just try. You've got nothing to lose, you know. It's really worth it, and it'll give you confidence, and you know, it's fun. It lets the world goes away, and you can just enjoy being a kid again, maybe playing with clay. Certainly takes you into that healthy part of your mind, the mindfulness. But I really, really enjoy it, and I just hope I can inspire people to enjoy it too. Just take the plunge. Okay, so I'll give it a little roll. I'm just going to put the rest of this on the back so it's got a bit of backing. And I just love the way that's crackling. Absolutely love it. I don't know if you can, clearly you can see it. So I'm just going to do this on a 4 just to give a bit more strength on the back there, because there was a few low pieces that weren't so high. Daisy. Okay, now I think I'm going to try running this through on a 0, or do I just leave it? No, I'm going to run it through on a 0. And luckily enough this morning, well, let me just run this through first. I can't talk and do this. There we go. There we go. See, there's a little bit there, needs filling. I'll do it from underneath. No, I won't. I'll do it from the top. Yeah, lucky enough this morning, there's a man in Russia who makes moulds. Quite a lot of people market his moulds, but they are good. So he's asked me if I would market them, and then he would send me some free ones so I could continue to market them and make stuff for you. So it's a win-win situation, and I'd rather be upfront and honest about it. So yeah, these moulds have come this morning, so I will be using Yaroslav's moulds to try these out. But they are, honestly, they are good moulds. I'm a madam for slicing the edges, but it's me, it's not the moulds. I do it with all of them, sadly. Okay, so let's see where we're going to start. I'm going to do these two first, the bigger ones. So let me see, where are we? So I'll choose, just going to take that slice out there to put in there. And where do I want the colour? Taking the time to look at where you want your colour and shades, it can help because it can give you a nicer outcome then. I'm just going to start filling with the edge bits. Okay, that's that one done roughly. And I want to do the other one. What area shall I go for? I think I'm going to go for here. And looking at this, I would like there showing. I want to get there. I just love the way the black goes into the gold, and I want to try and capture some of that. It goes sort of black to bronze to antique gold to gold, you know what I mean? It has that sort of look where it blends through on the Skinner blend, which is really nice. So I've done those roughly. I'll tidy them up in a minute, ready for that to go in. So that's that one. That's as much as I'll do on screen. I'll do the rest off and make some of the bits. So now I'm going to go back to this, and I'm going to roll some translucent, only thin, but just enough to hold it down. Let's see how these come out. Now I'm thinking, what do I do? So I'm just trying to, I don't even know what I'm making with it yet, but this is how I do it. I never know what I'm doing until I do it. Half the time. Sometimes I'll plan ahead, but I really honestly don't do it much. I think things work out better this way. We're all different, aren't we? I like to kind of just let it happen as it goes. Okay, so I've got some translucent there, and now I'm going to start slicing this. We can see how it looks. Oh, that looks very pretty too. You see it? So I'm going to start adding that there. What I do with this, as you turn it, because it's soft cernit and that, I always turn it, and then it sort of keeps the shape better about every 3 goes, because it starts to squash, doesn't it? So there we go. So now, oh, that one's a bit thick. There we go. So now I'm just going to add these. So hopefully this will be a 2-in-1 tutorial, because hopefully we're doing 2 ways with one thing. And I do this quite often. If I'm making something, I'll tend to cut a bit off to try something else with, and it really helps sometimes. So I thought I'd do a tutorial like that. I haven't shaped this very well, have I? Maybe try and amend it a little bit. Oh, my dog's barking. Right, take that off there. Move it out of the way. Okay. So hopefully that's enough to make a couple of bits. I'm just going to give it a roll. It's very pretty. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to roll that on a 0, and I'm going to put it onto a tray, onto another tile for cutting out. So let me just do that and I'll be back. Okay, so these cutters, which I just can't seem to clean, I've used alcohol and everything, they won't clean, but I'm using these cutters, and I'm just going to make some earrings for the tutorial, and then I'll make other things off screen. So I'm just looking for the best areas where I want to pick up certain shades. Okay, right, I'm really liking that area there, and I'm not going to use cling film or anything, I just want it to have that block look. And this is on the 0, so they're a little bit thicker than normal. Where else? I think I'm going to go there. Okay, so they will go into the oven with the moulds, and I will cook everything at the manufacturer's recommended temperature, and I'll see you on the other side. Just a quickie before I put them in the oven. There was a lady on my tutorial yesterday, Carmen. She asked me how I managed to get that drape effect on these earrings. All it was I used these cutters and I just played with that middle piece, just so you know, and I just squeezed it together, literally, and that was it. Okay, so I just wanted to let her know. I said I'd mention it if I remembered. Okay, so all my bits from that slab are here. I think you can see which is which. This here is the crackle effect, which is absolutely beautiful. I'm so pleased with it. I love that gold into black. That's the bit that gets me. These are the earrings that we did with the stone effect. Obviously they're going to look a lot better when they're finished, so I will finish them off. I'll probably resin these. I haven't used resin for ages. And then the cabochons, wow, there's a look at that. I don't know if it shows it yet. It's absolutely gorgeous with the layers of crust there, and then you've got it covered, but you can faintly see them underneath, and I don't know if that's showing. But yeah, let me just bring some of them up so you can see them clearer. And obviously they haven't been resined or anything yet, so they'll look lovely when they are. Okay, so that's just a variety of Yaroslav's moulds. These are the little moulds I always get from either AliExpress, Amazon, or somewhere like that, usually under £1. Yeah, so I've just made some of the bits and bobs which I'll be doing for myself anyway, but I just wanted you to have an idea of how it looks. So you've got the stone effect versus the crackle effect. So I'll be back in a minute when I've finished a couple of pieces. Well, look at these babies. Oh, I'm so pleased with them. I'll try and lift it and see. Look, it looks so rock-like. It's really, really pretty, and that's all because of the heat. So it did work as well with metallic, which is interesting to know. There it is, with more colours in. Okay, so all I did here, I just rolled out some black clay on a number 2, got a texture sheet here, banged it round, cut around it, and then I've resined the stones. Okay, I haven't done the backs yet, they still need to be done. I just stuck these on to show you. So there's the fronts of these. And these are the earrings. No, these are the earrings. I'm going to zoom out now, at least that far, and I can move those to one side. And these are the earrings done with the other technique, where we sort of chopped up all the bits and added the paint and mica and everything. Okay, so I'll just show you those. I'm really, really chuffed with all this. And I'm so chuffed with those stones. So that's them. Stop twisting. Then I did another pair, just a narrower pair, exactly the same. Oh, that'll help if I put them into view, won't it? Hang on, I'm not doing this. It doesn't work because I just forget. Okay. So there's a close-up of them just so you can see what's going on inside. Hopefully you can see all the translucent and that as well. You can see through the layers, which is nice. And then I've just got 2 of the rock stones here that I did. and just showing you how they came out. Okay, so you can see, hopefully you can see what they're like. That's the back, that's the front. Okay, so I've got loads more things to do. I've done these earrings here, but I haven't finished them yet. And I've got quite a little pile, but these are the ones I just wanted to get finished, just to show you alongside the ones I made for the tutorial. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed watching this. Thank you, bye.